Okay, so round one, game one of the third Gladiator Circuit Qualifier. We're matched up against Person of Secrets. For this tournament, I'm taking Mage and Archer. My opponent has let me know that he has Mage and Sorcerer. And I know that the deck list isn't showing. So we're going to get that fixed here in just a second. Or maybe I will not. I apologize. Alright, looks like for this game, let's give him an execute target. At least for this one, you're not going to be able to see the list because the screenshot did not save. It looks like that it is corrupted, which makes me feel bad. So we'll have the Archer list for sure for game two, and I will make sure that at a minimum
this won't hurt.
We have this going for future rounds here. Alright, let's go ahead and punch him. Don't really think that's boltable, but I do want to get schemers going in the Mage Mirror sooner rather than later. I have to assume he's probably on Control Mage, though he could be on some sort of like Action Mage.
This won't hurt much.
He's playing Dawnstar, going pseudo-aggressive. We're gonna do this either way. Let's get an ally going.
Let's do this.
Oh, that's a bummer. Take the Firebolt, I guess. I was really hoping that we were gonna hit that Firebolt, and then I was gonna consider just double Firebolting this, but I think this is not worth hitting on a Dawnstar that's already attacked. But he uses one on that. Alright, I think that's actually a bit of a win for us.
Gotcha.
Let's take the Schemer, trade. We want to get that value going sooner rather than later. And now we're kind of responsive. The bolts are great for reach, hopefully later. Wow, interesting. Okay. Dawnstars and Golden Saints, huh? Well, as much as I wanted to save my bolts for reach, I think we go that route. Have the Oda in hand and one Manticore makes me feel relatively okay about the late game. Trade, Ice Storm. He has 5 cards in hand. At that point, we would have 5 cards in hand. So we would be down a card, essentially, because he's also cracked a rune. But down a card and having cleared the Golden Saint feels pretty good. It's also kind of hard, at least in my opinion, to find quality Ice Storms in this matchup, and we do have 2 in hand.
I have you now.
So let's just do it. It'll buy us some time. I mean, we're down a card and there's not a lot we could do about it, but given our hand, I don't think there's much better. Any other option was like double trade into Saint and Javelin, and I think saving a Javelin over the Ice Storm is probably more important right now. I don't want to Javelin that, so we're just going to let it go. Ice Storm again, kind of no help there.
Blood will spill. The Dark Brotherhood is a pox, and I shall cure it.
We will Manticore that. He's probably going to respond with his own Manticore. For the record, Black Dragon, kind of neat and premium.
Your blood will spill.
It's like 5,000 gems well spent. There's his Manticore. So we are starting the Manticore fight. We're going to respond yet again with our own Manticore. We're trying to win the Manticore fight, if you will, if only because we have the Pillaging Tribune play, help us recoup some life. We'll give him runes, but... Alright, we are not winning the Manticore fight so far. So what do we want to do about it? Let's go with a Javelin first, because that gives Aaron a chance to get a Javelin back for us. And instead we got a bolt, which I'm okay with the bolt. We will potentially need the reach. Little Wordcrafter is kind of bleeding me out, though. We'll need to use the Tribune maybe on Aaron for some more life.
Elements, I summon thee.
Yeah, that hurts.
Careful there, friend.
Okay, as much as I wanted to Tribune and gain some health here, it looks like we're gonna have to take a different route. I mean, we have to Ice Storm. That's a no-brainer. It's now just a question of what else do we want to do. We have the bolts. We have the javelin. Let's see what this gets us.
Care to go again?
That's our third Manticore. He still has a Manticore, likely. I can't let this sit. Like, the potential for damage output is too strong. So I'm mostly just trying to figure out exactly what I want to do for dealing with that. I think that the best course of action is probably to javelin it and develop a 3-drop. Actually, no. Hold on. Best course of action is probably to ally.
Let's shed some light.
Firebolt, lightning bolt. As much as I want to save a lightning bolt, I also can't really. No, we can javelin and still firebolt. Reach versus killing Manticores and Otavangs. Reach versus let's take the javelin and save the reach. We really need to gain some health here.
Your storm is no match for mine.
And he is doing a wonderful job of preventing it. Alright, so his Oda is down. So he has Atromancers likely left, 1 Manticore. You know, he's only 17 cards deep. Man, oh my god. He's only 17 cards deep, and he's already had almost all of his late game. So if we can somehow magically survive this onslaught, and I'll be honest, I don't know how we're going to, gang. He legitimately only has 3 late game cards left. So that's like 1 in 11 out of what's left in his deck. But we have to first not die. And sadly, Otavang does not get it done for us here. How many lightning bolts has he played? Has he played any? I don't think he has, because it's just been all insanity, right? I might legitimately be stuck having to double bolt this. Because all he needs is 2 lightning bolts to finish us, 2 crushing blows to finish us. Could be like Atromancer and a creature, which at that point, like, he just wins, but I think we have to double bolt that to not die. We haven't seen, I've seen 1 javelin from him too. Eesh. This does not feel... That play doesn't feel good, but that deck has so much reach available. If we were playing an aggro deck, we might have done incredibly well. I mean, he basically had like no early game. It's just been all late game insanity.
There's always a plan.
Alright, that's not bad for him.
Your storm is no match for mine.
Problem is I think he still wins. Not being able to clear this is an issue, but we didn't have a good alternative. We had no shackles, we have no direct damage. I've got to clear the board, and I desperately need to try to gain health, but I suspect it's going to be like Tome, lightning bolt, crushing blow, lightning bolt. Maybe Knight of the Hour just saved me. Pray, Knight of the Hour just saved me. Javelin now.
By the 8th, they will meet their makers.
There's hope. We know that he's got at least another crushing blow or a lightning bolt, by the way that he was trying to go for the lethal there, though. So we have to keep that in mind.
Burn it all to the ground.
I want to get this right out of the way. Again, as I said before, if we can survive the onslaught, removal here doesn't mean he's coming in for 4. He's got these plus maybe a lightning bolt. He also just got cards, so he still has 1 Manticore and 2 Javelins left in the deck. This is actually a really difficult decision on what to do here with our limited magicka. I really feel like Hive Defender is important, but then I'm also not pulling guaranteed damage off. But Hive Defender has the potential to protect 6. Whereas like a Bolt has the potential to protect 4.
By the 8th, they will meet their makers.
As such, I think we're going to saturate like so and just pray he didn't draw any of his uber late game again, because that's all he's had. Again, not even halfway through his deck yet. And the amount of quality late game stuff he's had is pretty absurd. Significantly outweighs what we've drawn. So it favors us if we can just not die. If he doesn't have hard removal, so I'm speaking specifically about Manticore or Javelins, then this starts to look pretty good. He does still likely have 2 shackles left in Harpy, so I have to assume that this is not going to be allowed to attack. But if we can get at least 1 more swing in with that, I know that gives him more cards, but that puts him so close to lethal with our lightning bolt reach as well that goes a long way. Potentially even puts us in the lethal range if we can like pop Tome first, right? Tome him up, come in for 12. If he doesn't hit the life gain off of a prophecy, then we would have it. That's not counting everything else on the board. Our good friend Knight of the Hour might have legitimately came in our hour of need.
Behold my
Alright, so he's got that. Tome is good, so now we just need him to not have a Harpy, basically. Alright, so now no Prophecy. I guess I should say no Prophecy with life gain. And there we go. Wow. Knight of Hour saves the day. Good game. We'll go to game 2. Alright, so this time I have the deck list up. Hooray! We are round 1, game 2. We were lucky enough to take round 1. I really would like to throw this back, but with us having the ring, I think we have to keep this against Sorcerer. I'd like to be able to develop something, so I'm leery of throwing that back. I think we are. I think we're going to hunt for 2-drops. That's not a good sign. My lights just flickered. So earlier I was experiencing some pretty severe lag, and now my lights just flickered. I would really hate for my power to go out mid-tournament. That would be a bit of a bummer. Oh, he had no firebolt. Interesting. Oh, we already had 1 curse in hand, but that at least fishes 1 out.
By the 8th, they will meet their maker.
Okay. That does indeed fish a couple of curses out. Now, he doesn't know that we had this one in hand, so we'll use these 2. Not that it matters, but we'll use those 2. And Thieves Guild, save the Earthbone. We could have also Earthboned and then cursed once, but we've only seen like 2 cards from the deck right now. So I don't know if this is like some sort of control sorcerer variant, or if it's the normal mid-range. That's fine, that'll probably eat our last curse, because then I'll have to like pump it to do anything. And then I also want to saturate and go up to Blood Dragon, which is why I saved the ring, because Blood Dragon is so good in this matchup. We do still need to get rid of this, because he still helps out the team, but taking away the lethal is kind of a big deal. Oh, alright. So, there is in fact the item.
Your reckoning is at hand.
But that's still relatively a good turn for us. This could end up being really good as well. Let's poke him. Is it worth an Alina? Because our other options don't, like, kill him, right? Like, he would still get another kill. So I think that's probably worth Alina. Put Alina over here in case he tries to put something in front and eventually trade with the Blood Dragon. Again, unless he has Mummify, this is usually as good as eating, like, 2 lightning bolts. He's just gonna get the shackle in here. I know I said I was waiting for... Well, maybe not. Hold on.
My scales.
Got a couple of options here. I feel like, just because we already have a pretty comfortable health lead, that we can do this later. So, I like saving this for Gardener, but I feel like hitting this and trading, that allows us to also drop Protector of the Innocent, and again saves the Blood Dragon, which is such a hard thing for that deck to deal with, so...
The forest will not suffer your presence.
I think this is probably still the right way to go. Also develops our board more than, say, the Jarl. We can just use Jarl to refuel the tank next turn here, hopefully.
They will meet their makers.
We've got him pretty well on the back foot. This is so good for us in this matchup. Oh, that's actually really quality tempo, too. Let's see what happens with our attacks before we decide what to do with the giant. But so again, we got a health lead. I don't think we need to play the Jarl this turn, so we're just going to bounce the Daggerfall. It puts him that much farther behind. This deck doesn't really have, like, charge. You could have more lightning bolts to deal with this, but if you can deny Sorcerer board presence, they have a really hard time of catching up.
You best stay on the marked path. My Arcase beard.
Alright, so he's going to do those in Mace. He gets the double lockdown, which is fair. Which is fair. We're still going to punch him in the face, though. We're going to keep everything going in our favor as best we can. And we're going to go ahead and Jarl. Because more gas is good. This is basically just a 2-2 at this point. There's no reason not to play it. Again, I doubt this deck is running Ice Storm. Most of the traditional mid-range sorcerer lists do not run Ice Storm. So the further we can put him behind on the board, the better. He's gonna dig for some answers. He's got no shortage of cards. Alright, that's actually a really good sign for us. It means he has to use a shackle here. Oh, wow. Gets the double shackle in. Alright, so we have 3, 5, 6. It's almost lethal. I don't think we're going to do the snake tooth here, though. The difference between 2 and 3 is probably small enough that I don't think that it matters a ton.
My scales.
Mostly we're just trying to put a guard here to make him kind of plow through to get to these. I'm actually tempted to put this over here as well. And then just single Skaven on that side. Yeah, I think that's the route we're gonna go. The difference between 1 health and 2 against Sorcerer is usually irrelevant because it's all like Firebolt or greater. They don't really have pingers traditionally. But it's another threat, so it makes it that much harder for him to trade on this side. Any one of these is enough to threaten lethal with the Snake Tooth. And then we've got double guards protecting our meat.
A formidable display. I bow to
Yeah,
your
good game. We just put him on the back foot and made it work. So, we're going to round 2.